Just because you live in a van doesn't mean you can't bake stuff. Today we'll show you guys how we can make banana bread right on the stovetop. Okay, today I want to show you guys this thing right here. This is a stovetop oven. Because our van doesn't have an oven, we just have two burners and a sink for all of our cooking. In order for us to bake something, we have to use something like this. This is pretty popular in the European camper van RV world, a stovetop oven. There's a few different brands. The popular one is called Omnia, the Omnia stovetop oven. This is not an Omnia, but this is an Italian brand. I'll put the link to where we got this down in the description below. I'm gonna show you guys how this works. It comes with this heat spreader, little thingamabob that goes on the burner, directly on the burner. So it prevents any heat from heating up the bottom of this stovetop oven directly. And then it lets the heat kind of funnel through the middle, where in the inside of this oven, as you can see, it's got this hole right here. So heat can come up and kind of circulate around and kind of create even heat all the way across. And what we also got is this kind of silicone liner, which I think is pretty key for a few reasons. This is key so that you have minimal cleaning. If you put stuff directly in here to cook, the cleaning process will be pretty tedious. So this helps with that. But what it also does, you see there's these little ridges right here on the bottom. It keeps it off the bottom of the pan. So any direct heat that comes up, it sort of prevents too much heating of the bottom directly. So it gives it a more even, well-rounded heat. And it's made of silicone, so it's it's heat resistant up to 440 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's pretty hot. So the way that it works, you place it directly on top. You have the burner going. You put the batter in. We're going to show you guys just a simple recipe. Today we're going to have banana bread. We have a bunch of bananas that have gone bad. So we're going to show you how to cook banana bread right inside our van with this stovetop oven. I'll put the ingredients list down in the description below, also the recipe we're using. It's not the normal super easy recipe that we use. This one is a little bit different, and it's actually maybe one of the first times we've ever used this recipe. It calls for some sour cream or yogurt. In this case we have sour cream, obviously bananas. You can use white sugar or brown sugar. Here we have half and half. We have some chopped walnuts, a little bit of ground cinnamon, baking soda. It calls for 2 large eggs, but instead we have 3 medium eggs instead. And this is just flour and salt. So I'm just gonna put it all together. First I'm gonna mix the dry ingredients. Actually the butter would be nicer if it was like more melted, but it is room temperature. But let's see. Let's mix the dry ingredients, because this recipe should produce kind of a runny batter. So it should be pretty easy to mix. So let's put the sugar in there. And then we'll put just a pinch of salt. Maybe a little more than a pinch. And a little bit of cinnamon. About that much is good. And let's see what else. Teaspoon of baking soda. And then let's do the walnuts. So that's all the dry ingredients. We'll give that a good mix. All right, that's all well combined. The next thing we'll do is we'll kind of mash up these bananas a little bit. I would just use a fork. There's about 4 sort of medium-sized banana should produce about 2 cups of mashed bananas. As you can see, this is really ripe, so it mashes up easily. And this is about half a stick. No, is it half? No, it's about 2 sticks of butter. Well, it's 125 grams. I think it calls for 150 grams of butter. You can also use like just vegetable oil if you want. You can also use like coconut oil. I'm using butter here. Mix that in to the bananas. We want this to all get evenly distributed. Probably could have used a bigger bowl. I do have a bigger bowl. Okay. Put in a bigger bowl. Easier to mix. Because we got more stuff going in here. We are also going to crack our eggs in here, and then we'll put our sour cream in here before we combine the wet and dry ingredients together. Let's do the eggs. Well, this is actually a pretty big egg for a medium egg. We may be slightly egg heavy in this recipe, so we'll see how it turns out. Okay, mix these up. What else do I need? Oh, I need some a little vanilla in here. This is not real vanilla extract. This is just vanilla flavoring. It's all we got. It'll do about that much. The reason why you want to mix it separately from the flour is that you want these wet ingredients to be well combined before you start mixing it into your flour, because you don't want the flour to develop too much gluten. It's going to make your banana bread kind of tough and more chewy than probably you would want. So let's use this little whisk, get it more mixed up. And then while we're at it, dump our sour cream in here. Get all that sour cream out. I think that's pretty good. It can be a little bit chunky because you got, you know, just chunks of banana in here still. It's not completely mashed. If you want your banana bread to be super smooth, you could use like an electric mixer to do this and get it super smooth, but I don't mind it. I don't mind having a little bit of visible chunks of banana in here. It's called rustic. Okay, so let's combine the wet and dry. In the meantime, I'm actually going to start I'm going to take this out. I'm going to start the stove, get that going. There you go. Make sure you place that right in the center. Place that right on the center. Got heat coming up, good. And then wet and dry going together. And we just kind of get it combined until it's all homogenized. It's going to be somewhat chunky because we got walnuts in here. We just want to make sure we don't have any dry flour stuck to the bottom. That's not going to be good for banana bread. We can use this scraper to kind of do a folding motion. Make sure to scrape all the flour from the bottom and fold it into the batter. So you see it's a pretty loose batter, which is what you want for banana bread. And I know that a lot of people have been making banana bread this past year, being stuck at home. So we have as well. Just because, what do you do with these brown bananas when the kids don't eat them? Okay, so it's pretty well mixed. So then what you do, pour this batter into this mold, being careful to evenly distribute it. This recipe, I think, makes just about enough for this mold. Could be a hair more than I actually need, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here and fill it up. Try to get out as much of the batter as I can. Okay, so just kind of clean up the edges a little bit to make this come out a little easier later. It is non-stick silicone, so it should be pretty easy, but we will see. And then I will take my spatula, just kind of give it a once over to even out the batter. So this gets really hot, so use something to pick it up. And then we will drop our banana bread in here. Oh wow, that's really glowing red down there. Banana bread is nice and centered. And then throw the lid back on. We will come back in a few minutes when this banana bread is ready. All right, so it's been about 50 minutes or so. You really want to keep an eye on the temperature here because you don't want this to be on like full blast. Right now it's like maybe 30% heat, I think, is about what this is. Full blast will make this really hot. And also be careful, if you get this exact same one, all of this is really hot. So I got a toothpick here, just as you normally would. Use a toothpick to see, to check the doneness. Wow, look at that. Look how brown the top gets, just like you would in the oven. If it comes out clean, we are done. It's really close. I would say cover it up for another like 2 minutes. 2 more minutes. I'm gonna turn the heat off and just let it sit and cool down. Then we'll have banana bread. And I'll show you how easy this pops out of that silicone mold and also how easy it is to clean. All right, turning this off. Let's take a quick peek Oh yeah. Nice and tan on the top, nice and brown. Let that sit. Turn the heat off, and then we'll come back to take it out once it's cooled down. Okay, it's been maybe 5 to 10 minutes. It's not totally cooled off yet, still pretty warm. But I want to show you. Look at that. Look at the top of that banana bread, and look at the rise too. It's pretty good rise. And then see, totally non-stick. Now we got to figure out a way to get this out without burning ourselves. Easiest way would just be to kind of turn it upside down, let it fall out onto a cutting board. Side. Okay. All right, here we go. Turn this over onto a cutting board. That's the only thing you have to clean. This thing right here. And look how clean the bottom of this thing is. Practically pristine. That's the bottom of the banana bread. So you see, it doesn't get burnt like you would if you're trying to cook something else on the stovetop. Makes a giant banana bread donut. All right, let's cut a piece. Let's cut a piece and see how it goes. Just a butter knife. Oh yeah. Here.
Oh, thank you.
The kids are going to be mad that we're eating this without them. Stovetop banana bread. Oh, it's super moist.
It's really good.
I think the sour cream makes a difference in how moist it is. So that's our stovetop oven. We use this for pretty much anything from banana bread. We can make calzones. We can heat up croissants. We can pretty much make anything we want as long as we don't mind it turning out into a shape of a big donut. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to find links on how to buy one of these things, I'll put it down in the description below. And also the silicone insert. That's definitely a must. It's a little bit pricey for what it is, but I would say that it's well worth the money because it'll save you hours and hours of headache in trying to clean this aluminum pan. Thanks as always for watching. Special thanks to Patreon supporters. You guys are the ones that make these videos happen. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button below. I'll see you guys in the next one.